The departures of Koulibaly, Mertens and Insigne looked as if it marked the beginning of the end for Napoli. After an impressive third place finish last season, it looked as if that was going to be the best they could achieve for the next few seasons. But one of the most underrated and cheap transfer windows in recent history has seen all these players be replaced by arguably much more dynamic team players, with Kvaratshkelia, Jae Kim, Anguissa and a number of excellent loanees completely revolutionizing Napoli. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the tactics behind their incredible start to the season, and how Luciano Spalletti has transformed Napoli into one of the most exciting teams in Europe. Welcome back to Football Meta. If you enjoyed this content, then please leave a like and subscribe for more. Napoli's fantastic start is reflected in the statistics, currently top of the Serie A and finishing first in the Champions League group stages. But it doesn't end there, and they've also scored more than any other team in both competitions, while also averaging the highest expected goals and the most shots than any other team. So let's dive deeper into these numbers by taking a look at the starting 11 and key players. Spalletti's preferred formation this season has been the 4-3-3, with the 4-2-3-1 also featuring on a few different occasions. The players have also been relatively consistent, with Mere in goal, a back four of Di Lorenzo, Romani, Jae and Rui. The 25-year-old Jae is the surprise star at the back for Napoli and has helped fill the void left by Koulibaly. So far, he averages the highest amount of passes per game in the league, helping the team break the first line of press, while also being an excellent defender, ranking in the top 7 in the league for clears and blocks. But not only that, he already has 2 goals to his name and is incredibly effective from set pieces. All stats and graphs in this video are brought to you by Soccerman, an in-depth player and team analysis platform. The link is in the description down below. Next up, the midfield of Lobotka, Anguissa and Zielinski has featured the most, but Ndombele has also been a key player in the midfield 3. The 2 mezzale are crucial in Napoli's system to pick up the ball between the lines and create overloads out wide. Zielinski has been excellent at supporting the attacks so far, with 1 goal and 4 assists to his name, ranking in the top 2.5% for expected assists in the league. Up top is where Napoli have been the most exciting this season, with a front 3 of Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen and either Politano or Lozano on the right flank, with Raspadori also being a key player up top to replace Osimhen when needed. Kvaratskhelia has taken the league by storm, with 6 goals and 5 assists so far. He's excellent at taking on opponents and will constantly drift into pockets of space where he can then attack the back line. Similarly, Osimhen is back to his best after a long injury last season, with 7 goals and 1 assist already. He is constantly attacking the space behind the back line, looking for balls over the top, and is always ready in the box to meet any crosses or cutbacks. He currently ranks first in the Serie A for expected goals at 1.02 expected goals per 90. As a whole, Napoli are a team that like to dominate the game, and so far they've averaged the second highest amount of possession in the league. Their attacks have slightly favoured the left flank, with the most amount of shots coming from the right side of the box, given mostly by Kvaratskhelia cutting inside and finding players in this area. These stats give us some good insight into how dangerous Napoli have been this season, with a very quick and vertical style of play that instantly puts the opposition on the back foot. But it's when looking at Napoli's build-up that we can start to see the true genius of Spalletti's tactics. From goal kicks, Napoli will almost always look to build from the back. However, Spalletti is a manager that doesn't insist on build-up at all costs, and if the moment is right, encourages his team to play long balls into the 3 forwards. Nonetheless, the initial structure is resemblant of a 2-3-2-3, with the fullbacks hugging the touchline and Lobotka in the centre. The 2 centre-backs have been excellent at coping with pressure and will comfortably rotate the ball, waiting for a gap to open up into the other 2 midfielders, or even for a dinked pass over the top into Kvaratskhelia or Politano. Similarly, Mere will also quickly look for a dinked pass into the fullbacks if the opposition presses too high, or even into Osimhen, who can knock it down into one of the 2 mezzale who now have space ahead of them to attack the back line. If the team is struggling to find space, then one of the 2 midfielders, usually Anguissa, will look to drop deep to outnumber the press. By doing this, it frees up space in the centre which can be occupied by the winger. If the opposition is able to force them near the touchline, then a direct pass into the winger can also be extremely dangerous, as they can quickly knock it past the fullback and attack the space, something Kvaratskhelia did exceptionally well against Trent Alexander-Arnold in the Champions League. With Spalletti's side being excellent at maintaining possession under pressure, it means the team can quickly gain ground and move into their second phase of play. During this, they look to maintain a similar 2-3-2-3 structure, allowing the 2 wingers to move more centrally into the half spaces and the fullbacks pushing up. This creates a triangle shape in the center with the holding mid, with the other two midfielders holding a position behind the midfield line, or dropping deep to receive the ball. At times, however, if against the front two, one of the two fullbacks, usually Di Lorenzo, will drop to form a back three, creating a diamond shape in the center for easier passing lanes. The midfield three adopts a staggered triangle shape in the center, given mostly by Zielinski's preference of playing in a more central position. This means the backline has a number of different options for moving the ball forward. If there's little space between the lines, then Zielinski will often come short, freeing up space for Kvaratshkelia to move inside and more easily link up play with Osimhen and Politano. The combination of Kvaratskhelia dropping deep and Osimhen, Politano and one fullback pushing up causes a lot of stress to the back line, which will often find itself breaking its shape to cover all these runs. Given Napoli's constant threat of a direct ball into space behind the defence, Kvaratskelia's positioning means he can often receive the ball with little pressure, before turning and attacking the back line and making a pass. Furthermore, his more central positioning will often cause the defence to tighten their shape, meaning there is more space on the flank which Napoli often exploit with long switches in play into the fullback. When entering the final third, the areas that Napoli will consistently create chances from is the half spaces. Thanks to the midfielders and the fullbacks, Spalletti is able to always get at least 4 players on the back line, with a 5th player attacking these spaces and disrupting the defensive block. The front 5 can be formed in many different ways. At times, the wingers are out wide, and it's the mezzale that attack the half space, with the fullbacks as support. On other occasions, the fullback pushes up, and the winger is ready to make a run between the centre-back and the fullback, freeing up space for the midfielders on the edge of the box. Finally, on other occasions, the midfielder can find himself out wide, with the fullback in the half space and the winger ready in the box for a cross onto the front post. Spalletti instructs his players to occupy dangerous spaces rather than fixed positions, and these constant rotations mean Napoli can very quickly expose weaknesses in the opposition's defense, and have a number of different options to explore in the final third. The structure in the opposition's half will often resemble a 2-2-1-5, with the 2 centre-backs, 1 midfielder and 1 inverted fullback as defensive cover, Zielinski on the edge of the box, and the front 5 of 1 fullback, 1 midfielder and the 3 attackers. Once the ball is in the box, then it's an almost guaranteed opportunity for Napoli. Osimhen's height and pace mean he can beat the defender to any balls in the box, and the winger's dribbling ability means they can always find space for an opportunity. Napoli's in-possession principles are some of the most exciting in Europe, and will often create chances in very unexpected ways. But their defensive discipline and structure is also worth noting, as they currently have the 2nd best expected goals against in the league. While Napoli do look to win the ball back early, they aren't an inherently aggressive team and don't tend to press too high up the pitch, currently ranking outside the top 5 for pressing intensity. From opposition goal kicks, Osimhen will look to quickly close down and isolate the centre-backs in possession, while the 2 wingers stay in a rather wide shape to prevent the ball going into the fullback. This forces a central pass into the midfielders, where Napoli are extremely aggressive and put as much pressure as possible on the midfielder receiving the ball. This makes it much harder to make a play, given him facing the wrong way, and so will force a pass back, which is a trigger for Osimhen and the wingers to close down this pass and start their press. This often results in teams facing Napoli looking to quickly play a ball over the top. However, the centre-backs are quick to close this space down and regain possession. When falling back into their own half, the shape will often drop into a 4-5-1 or even a 5-4-1. Osimhen stays up top to pressure the centre-backs, while the 2 wingers are tasked with covering the fullbacks, again forcing play centrally where the tight 5-man block can quickly close down any players. The main objective is to keep the 2 lines as tight as possible and force the opposition to cross into the box, where the centre-backs can clear the area and Napoli can regain possession. If they're able to get the ball, then Osimhen's positioning up top means the team can quickly move the ball to him, where he can lay it off to the wingers and can start a dangerous and quick counter-attack. These tactics, mixed in with some incredible young talent, have taken Napoli to highs they haven't seen in years. And there seems to be a whole new energy surrounding the club and the fans, with their eyes set on winning their first league title since Diego Maradona. And now let me know what you think of this Napoli team. What do you think of Spalletti's tactics and where do you think they'll finish this season? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. So now you're all up to date on Napoli's tactics, why not check out this video on the 3-4-2-1 and why it's one of the most popular formations this season. As always, if you enjoyed this content, then please leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.